Hello, my friends. This is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you are a first-time visitor, welcome and thank you. I am sitting here restocking, so to speak, on my resin stash, and I thought that I would turn this camera on and share with you what I'm doing. So, I recently received a set of silicone molds from BB Craft, and these were sea themed. So what I had in mind when I received those items was to do some resin casting and use those different pieces in different projects, and also just to kind of build up a little stash of these sea themed resin pieces in the event I want to share them in Happy Mail or whatever the case may be. So let me share with you first what I am using in terms of supplies. For the resin, I am using this fast cast resin. This resin is amazing, okay, in that it sets in 10 minutes. The flip side of that coin is you have to work really fast when using this resin, because almost as soon as you mix the two different parts, your time is ticking. And if you are slow in using it, you will find that the resin will harden in your pour cup and you will be frustrated as frustrated can be. So this 10-minute resin is legit setting in 10 minutes. So you have to move really fast when you use it. The other thing about this resin is that when it cures in a white color. Now, you can add pigment powders and dyes to it to color it, but because it is white, any color you add to it is not going to be like, you're not going to get a lot of payoff in color. It's going to come out more pastel. So if you add a super vibrant pigment powder to it, thinking you're going to get a super vibrant color, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if instead what you get is a pastel color. When I use this resin, I understand that it's going to cast white, and I'm okay with that because 9 times out of 10, I am using some kind of paint or metallic wax or something else to decorate and embellish it. So I'm okay with the white. To me, the benefit of this is that it will 100% cure super fast. It'll set in 10 minutes, but for you to have like in 10 minutes it's going to be set, but it's going to be you're going to have a little flexibility to it. The longer you let it sit, like if you let it sit 15, 20, 25, the longer you let it sit, the firmer the piece becomes. So something that can be helpful for any particular project where perhaps you do initially want a little bit of flexibility to mold the piece over something else. But the longer you let it set, the harder it's going to cast, okay? Now, if you're not familiar with resin, what you essentially get is 2 bottles. You get a part A and a part B, and you definitely want to read the instructions for whatever resin you get, because every resin has its own set of instructions in terms of what the ratio of part A to B is. You want to make sure you mix it properly so that you get a good cast and you don't get something wonky because your proportions or your ratios are off. So this particular resin that I'm using is a 1-to-1. So for every 1 part of the A, you want to mix a part B, equal parts, okay? The way I work the resin, just to give me a little bit of time before I really have to start moving super quick and pouring it, is I initially pour out each part in its own little measuring cup. Okay, so here is my part A, here is my part B. Okay, I also have stir sticks one for the part A, one for the part B. You don't want to mix your sticks up, or you don't even want to mix your cups up if you reuse your cups, because the minute part A and B come into contact with each other, they're going to start doing their thing, and you're going to see them set super, super quick. So I just try to keep 1 cup for the part A, 1 cup for the part B, so that I can pour each part in equal amounts. Okay, and when I am ready to start pouring, I have my actual pour cup or my mixing cup, which in this case is just a cheap, relatively inexpensive plastic cup. I tend to just use one of these disposable cups per pour, because once you mix the part A and B in here, even after you pour it out, you're going to have some residue in the cup. And I just like to have a clean cup every time that I cast. So it's a one-time use for me. I know there are some reusable silicone cups, and I actually have one of those, but this is really my preferred method. It's just what I've gotten used to. When working with resin, you do want to make sure that you are working in a ventilated area. You do want to make sure you use protective gloves for your hand. This is a very harsh chemical. You do not want it coming in contact with your skin. You could have a bad reaction. It could do bad things to your skin. So definitely take precaution when using resin. You also want a flat level surface when working with resin, or else you're going to find that your resin pieces are a little wonky or a little uneven, or they didn't set quite right. I find that most of the problem can be traced back to the surface that you're working on. You want a nice flat level surface. You also want to put down a protective mat over whatever surface you're working on. I have my beautiful cutting mat, and on top of that I have my beautiful glass mat. I don't want those items ruined by resin. I don't know that. I'm assuming the resin would just kind of fleck off of glass, but I'm not going to test that theory. I just put down this cheap rubber placemat that I picked up probably at the Dollar Tree or some inexpensive store similar to the Dollar Tree. So what I suggest is you have everything set out and just within easy reach, especially if you're using this super quick setting resin, because once you start that process, you don't want to pause, not even for a minute. Okay, so as I said, I'm using different types of molds. I've had some that I purchased from Amazon that I'm kind of experimenting with, but the ones that I really want to test today are these marine themed ones that I got from BB Crafts. I showed these in a video where I showcased the items that BB Craft sent to me. This is like a 10-piece marine themed silicone mold. It's for fondant, but I'm going to use it for resin. I will link to this product down below so that you can check it out. So I think I pretty much mentioned everything I need to mention in terms of prep. So let's go ahead and get this started. So once you have your part A and your part B poured into separate cups, you are going to combine those, stir them for just like maybe 5 to 10 seconds. You don't really want to take that long in mixing them. You don't want to do a super aggressive stir because you don't want to get air bubbles in your resin. If you get air bubbles in your resin, when you pour it, those air bubbles can create kind of like little holes or divots or voids in your resin pieces. And 9 times out of 10, those voids are in the worst place on the piece. Usually someplace on the piece that makes the piece aesthetically unpleasing. I've had that happen. So I have my part A. I'm going to pour my part A. Let's see if I can do this in frame. I think I can. Let's move some of this stuff over. This is my part A. I'm going to pour my part A into the cup. Make sure I get it all out. And again, I pre-measured these so I know it's equal parts. I'm going to set that cup to the side. I will be using it again. Here is my part B. And really, as soon as this pours in, your time is ticking. So you really want to work super fast. I'm going to grab another stir stick, and I'm just using little popsicle sticks, and I'm going to stir this. You will feel the chemicals start to react almost immediately. You'll feel the cup start to warm up at the bottom. It gets a little warmer. So you're going to mix this. Okay. And I'm about done with my mixing. Like I said, you don't want to be super aggressive, but you really do have to hustle. You do have to hustle. So I am going to start pouring this out. Hopefully, let me move these pieces in. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. Start pouring these. I'm going to pour the little sea star. I'm going to pour the seashell. I'm going to pour this sea sponge. And I'm also going to pour this mermaid tail. Okay, I have a little bit left over, so let me see. Maybe I'll try filling this fish. Do I have enough? I think I have enough to fill the fish. I love, love, love playing with resin, although I tend to use the other resin, the one that takes 24 to 48 hours to cast, because there's less pressure there. And that resin, clear casting resin is what I like to use, because you can add pigment to it and all sorts of glitter and just powders to make it super, super pretty. But in this case, I just wanted to use my fast casting resin. I've had it for a good long bit, meaning to use it, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but decided to do that today. I was just in the mood to play with it, right? Super fun. So that's poured out. I do have a little extra resin left in there, but I think I did a pretty good job making just enough of what I needed. In that case, I had mixed 2 ounces. It was 1 ounce of the part A, 1 ounce of the part B, for a total of 2 ounces of resin. So I'm going to pull you in a little closer. I did pour some pieces a little earlier, like about 15 minutes ago or so, so that you can see. I'm going to pull you in. You can see some finished pieces. So I'm going to bring you in even closer so that you see how this is already turning milky white. That's the resin setting. That's how super quick this is. Look at the seashell. Look at how quickly that's setting. Look at the sea sponge. Look at the sea star. This stuff is awesome. Look at the mermaid tail. And look at the fish. Quickly, super quick. You and I have been chatting for about 4 minutes now, and look. That's how quick this stuff is. So as I said, I did pour some pieces earlier, so I can show you what they look like once they are removed from the mold. I will say that these pieces that I got from BB Crafts worked beautifully. I had no problem taking the resin out of the mold. In fact, I think these are ready for me to pull them out. So let's go ahead and do that. All I do to separate is just flex the mold a little bit and boom, it comes right out. And look how gorgeous this is. Look at the texture. Absolutely stunning. I love it. I'm super happy with this. I can clean up the edges using a file. On that subject, if you file resin, my friends, you must work in a well-ventilated area. I would suggest you do it outdoors, and you must, absolutely must wear a face mask. The last thing you want to do is inhale resin dust. That is not good for you. That is toxic. That is pollution that you're taking into your system. You don't want to inhale that. So if you do sand your resin, do it outdoors and wear a mask. Okay, you don't want to inhale resin dust. So that is the first piece. Isn't it beautiful? I am super happy with these molds from BB Craft. Here is another. Let's go ahead and separate this. I think this is the first time I'm seeing this piece. I can't wait to see what this looks like. Oh my goodness, guys. Look how beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. How awesome would this be on a mixed media canvas that's like marine themed? Love it. That is that one. Let's see which ones are. Oh, this one is also set. Let's separate that one. I was really super curious about this one. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful piece. Look at this one. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, wow, wow. Super happy with that. Beautiful piece. And then, let's see. I did do this one that we just poured. I'm going to let that one sit a little longer. I can probably pop it out now, but even though it sets in 10 minutes, I want it to be super, super hard. So I'm going to leave it there for more like 20. But I did cast this piece earlier, and this is what it looked like. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful piece. And then I also did what else did I do? I did the seashell right there. And this is what it looked like when it popped out. Isn't it beautiful? That's the seashell. So there's the seashell. Here's another shell. Okay. Here's a sea sponge. Beautiful. Here's the sea star. This one right here is what it looks like when it comes out. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the different textures. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then we have the mermaid tail. Look at the mermaid tail. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. 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 So I am super, super pleased with these molds from BB Craft. They performed beautifully. The pieces came out super textured, beautifully detailed, absolutely gorgeous. And I am going to have quite the stash of these beautiful, beautiful shells. So I also, not BB Craft related, casted other molds that I had. This one here is one I picked up. Where did I get this one? Amazon. Okay. And I was curious how it would work on these as well. So let me quickly I'm curious. Pull one out. And I poured this one about probably like 20 minutes ago. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. Look at that. Gorgeous. And this is what I mean about the flexibility. Actually, I think I poured this less than 15 minutes ago. I don't know. I poured it just before I started my video. So however long this video is, I poured it about 5 minutes before that. And you still have a little bit of flexibility in this. You see that? But the detailing is gorgeous. Let's pull out one more. I'm just curious. Curious. Oh my gosh, guys. Now this one, I definitely was super sloppy in my pouring, and I'm going to have to do some cleaning up on the edges here. I try to be careful when I'm pouring, but sometimes I don't have the steadiest of all hands. That is gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a shame I wasn't a little neater about pouring them, because that's quite a bit of sanding I'm going to have to do on the side there. And this one, my gosh, guys, look at the mess I made here. What a hot mess. I wasn't focused at all. And so I have these two stuck together. So what I will probably do is just go in with a pair of scissors and separate them. Okay, and then I have, let's see, this piece. Beautiful. And this piece. This one turned out perfect, didn't it? Beautiful. Love that. So that worked out well too. So that is my entire project share for you, my friends. And I guess kind of like a mini tutorial too, huh? So here is the, let me show you the cup. See the cup where my pouring cup, how everything is just stuck together now? Look at that. That's how quickly this stuff sets. Done and done. So I'm going to keep casting some resin pieces, but I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial / project share. If you did, leave me a thumbs up and a comment down below. That's always appreciated. If this is your first time visiting me and you like what you see, definitely subscribe. Come back and visit. You won't be disappointed. And I will catch you all in the next video, my friends. Until next time, bye-bye. Oh, I forgot to mention. Wait. Time. I wanted to mention that BB Crafts is actually right now having a big-time Mother's Day USA warehouse clearance sale. And that is going from April the 9th to April the 22nd. 65% off a lot of the products that are in their USA warehouse. So check that out. It's a good time to build your stash if you don't have one, or supplement your stash if you already have one and you just need a couple of extra items here and there. So definitely go check it out. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.